Hello and welcome back to the channel. We got a new update. Buckle up, champions. Next week's v0.7.2 balance update changes almost everything. Read all about it in our latest patch notes blog below. So let's go ahead and dive in and see what's going on. V update 0.7.2 early access balance patch releasing May 30th. So May 30th is Tuesday. All right, no, I should have known that. It's always Tuesday. v0.7.2 balance patch is just around the corner, and it's shaping up to be big. We also hope that it'll mark the beginning of the end of our focused efforts to tackle TTK improvements in Predecessor. As a reminder, our goal is to create a mid-late game environment that promotes more back and forth gameplay, more tense fights, and more importantly, more rewarding counterplay. The largest part of this process is focusing, of course, is fiddling with the base stats of our heroes. A lot of our heroes have fairly varied base stats that were once fitting, but due to the changes we've made throughout early access are no longer suitable. Generally speaking, we'll be looking to make most heroes more durable even in the early game, largely due to crest sustain decreasing in the previous update, meaning that damage now sticks better. However, a couple heroes will be made a little squishier for certain cases, and we'll explain these reasons case by case. Next up, items are getting a big checkup. Lots of passives are losing additional tack on effects that end up contributing heavily to shorter TTK scenarios due to overloaded effects. Most of these are being trimmed off, reduced, or reworked. I like the sound of that a lot. Finally, as stated, a few items are also getting reworked to allow tanks to provide a more utility-focused and durable role within a team, whilst providing options to more players to deal with those tanks with particular itemization. Now that tanks have their new fun crest to play with, we want their usual items to reflect a similar behavior. As such, we're trimming their damage, haste, and natural use cases to provide more durable and utility-oriented effects. Yeah, tanks have been kind of strong as hell for a little bit here. Upcoming patches may look to make adjustments to the changes brought about in this patch as we continue to revise and hone our balance and design towards our original goal. So expect reaction-based changes rather than a new goal or purpose over the next few weeks. Blood Mortius. Yeah, it sounds like they're just continuing that final stage of TTK. Mostly sounds like tanked items are going to get hit with their damage, and then we're going to see some actual changes to the heroes. So let's go and take a look. New skins. Ooh, okay. Mechanical. Why do I read that so weird? Mechanical Titan gadget. That looks really cool. And Aegis Steel. Very cool. I like both of them. I don't actually think I'll get either one of them because I'm just not a huge skin person. But I actually do like both of them. I think that looks really, really cool. All right, let's go ahead and dive into the balance changes. General, casters and tanks have been a major issue thanks to their damage output, especially for melee-focused heroes to deal with who can easily get swept up by these pesky AoEs. To help, we're granting a bit more magic armor across the board to help base durability for all heroes. So melee magic armor increased from 30 plus 1 growth to 32 plus 1.8 growth. Ranged magic armor increased from 30 plus 0.5 growth to 30 plus 0.9 growth. Okay, so more magic armor. Countess has started to show a little more face since the crest changes, as her sustain stands out a bit too much relative to other heroes. We're decreasing this alongside the damage of her ultimate to decrease her burst and lane sustain. The physical armor growth increased from 3.5 to 4. That'll help her with actually sitting in the lane by taking away some sustain. And then her right mouse button, Blade Siphon, healing decreased from 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Feast, which is her R. Maximum health scaling decreased from 10% to 8%. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that just feels like definitely a net nerf on her, which we'll see how that goes. But she absolutely does get out of hand at a certain point. Crunch. Overall, we're decreasing Crunch's damage output in the mid to late game by a smidge, while increasing his versatility by opening up his magic power scaling to let him utilize more magic bruiser itemization when the situation calls for it. Physical armor growth increased from 4 to 5.2. Left Crunch Q. Base damage changed from 25, 50, 75, 100, 125 to 20, 50, 80, 110, 140. Total physical power scaling decreased from 120 to 115. AP scaling increased from 50% to 80%. I don't know if this is going to land, right? Because when you have a scaling this high, 115%, you have to literally not use that to use this 80% when you pick up a different item. So I don't actually know. Like, this has always been the case with Crunch. There's like maybe a couple items in the magic scaling, and it's actually really weird that they said AP scaling, because that it's not in theme with them. They should have said magic power scaling. I know what, you know, it's ability power. It's other game terminology, so they'll probably fix that later. Like, if I refresh the page, they might actually fix that. But yeah, I don't know if this is going to land with that goal. This is just going to feel like a nerf to Crunch. Cooldown decrease from 11.10.987 to 10.9.876. So that's cool. It's got, you know, some slightly faster cooldown. Right Crunch's E base damage changed from 75, 110, 145, 180, 215 to 80, 110, 140, 170, 200. It actually starts a little higher, and then plateaus and then gets weaker, which is weird. Bonus physical power scaling decreased from 80 to 75. AP scaling, magic scaling from 60 to 70. Again, I just think this is going to feel like a nerf to Crunch across the board. And then bonus physical power scaling decreased from 75 to 70 on his forward Crunch. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what items I would actually build on him from the magic side. And I mean, I'm sure there's some. I really can't think of it right now. I really got to change my perspective on it. But it would probably be like one item, because his scaling on the magic side is not high enough, I think, to warrant not still picking up some of his core itemization. And then also, you tend to pick up like armors and things on him to make him durable. So it's hard to imagine. So Decker has been fairly stable and dominating in the laning phase. We're pushing her damage down a little bit and putting a bit more emphasis on maxing out her photon disruptor instead of her stasis bomb ability. Her durability is getting a small increase to help match other heroes in her preferred roles. Physical armor increased from 20 to 24. Physical armor growth increased from 3.5 to 4.5. Photon disruptor Q cooldown changed from 11, 10.5, 10, 9.59 to 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. And then stasis bomb right mouse button damage, or base damage, decreased from 80, 115, 150, 185, 220 to 75, 110, 145, 180, 215. So little damage nerf there. And then mana cost increased from 60, 65, 70, 75, 80 to flat 80. So cooldown changed on her Q. That is okay. Yeah, so a little less poke in the lane, basically. And like a little bit less damage on her right mouse button, with it also being a little bit more punishing to spam during the laning phase. Okay, yeah, so she's getting a nerf to like the laning phase. Drongo, just a small health increase for Drongo to keep him in line with the durability changes. So health increased, and then health growth increased. Cool. Feng Mao is getting a small reduction in base health, as his offlane presence is very potent thanks to his base stats, allowing him to trade quite favorably even at level 1. His physical armor growth will make up for it pretty quickly over the early levels, and beyond this we reckon he's in a pretty good spot stat-wise. Nice. Health decreased from 650 to 640. Physical armor growth increased from 3.7 to 4.2. Gadget's passive can be a little abusive in offlane by increasing her durability while being cautious of her strength in matchups against melee opponents without affecting her mid lane potential. Health increased from 580 to 600. Health growth increased from 100 to 104. Physical armor growth increased from 4.7 to 5, and then her passive base damage decreased from 42 to 34, and then scaling decreased from 60% to 50%. Yeah, this is one of those, like, I'll see, you know, I don't think this is going to crush her or anything, but we'll see. Gideon is already fairly durable due to his high-risk, high-reward playstyle when he has to commit to his health pool in order to access his ultimate ability. However, his level 1 is a bit too durable for his lane, especially when combined with his mobility, making him a little too hard to kill. We'll be giving him some health back across the game, that is, at least at the start of the match, he will miss out a bit on durability. So health decreased from 640 to 620, health growth increased from 105 to 107, physical armor decreased from 26 to 24. Cosmic Power Q scaling decreased from 51% to 45%. Right mouse button Void Breach cooldown changed from 9, 8.58, 7.57 to 10, 9, 876. And Black Hole, his R base damage decreased from 450, 675, 900 to 405, 630, 855. So honestly, I'm going to say some reasonable sounding nerfs for Gideon. He is incredibly powerful and potent, and now some of the other things that he does well just aren't going to be as strong. So I think that all sounds good. It doesn't sound too ridiculous to me, but they're like, it's I'd say, you know, it's a decent nerf, so looks good. Grux has a lot of his HP back loaded into his growth. We're bringing some forward to ensure that he can have a strong presence in the early game where he should be able to bully out other laners. Health increased from 600 to 640. Health growth decreased from 115 to 112. Physical armor growth increased from 4.8 to 5.2. So yeah, they're just front loading the health. Okay, cool. Howitzer, one of the biggest issues with Howitzer right now is that he has a very large health pool along with a size advantage. His range and utility keeps him extremely safe from most dangerous damage sources. Shorshish. We want to reinforce the fact that you can catch the rat, that it can be exterminated alongside these notes are so stupid sometimes, but it's like funny. Alongside this, we're also taking down his landmine radius and slow grenade damage, as the latter's total base damage can snowball a bit when used both as poke tool or combo tool. Health decreased from 680 to 610. Damn, 680. Health growth decreased from 110 to 108. Armed salvo passive scaling decreased from 30% to 20%. Slow grenade, right mouse button. First hit base damage decreased from 30, 50, 70, 90, 110 to 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Secondary hit base damage decreased from 6, 10, 14, 18, 22 to 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. And landmine E radius decreased from 440 to 380. So also some like pretty substantial nerfs to Howitzer. We'll see how that feels. Kallari is getting some larger changes in this patch to create a healthier play pattern for players to engage with. We'll be increasing her jungle clear and lane clear potential so that she doesn't quite feel so incentivized to spam gank in the early game to build her lead. With this, however, also comes a hefty nerf to her early game stealth. She will still be able to pull off lots of the same routes as she could before, but timing should now be much tighter. This will make her early ganks a riskier and less free resulting in a healthier counterplay options for opponents. With this, though, we can also give her a few quality life buffs and increase the damage to her ultimate ability to compensate for Deathmark's damage reduction, making her less reliant on the ability and more likely to get explosive AoE combos. Okay, before I read this, I think this is one of those characters that's always going to be hard to balance, and I think that the precedent that's being set here could be really good or it could be really bad, because without like early ganking and taking advantage of building a lead while also putting the enemies down, you can, let's say you just turn into a hyper farming Kallari, you're going to scale like into the game like really linearly with other players in the game, and then you're Kallari in the late game without a lead, and so that could be really bad, or some of these changes could just be really fine and it's all good, because I do think that she's really strong right now. So I feel like this is dangerous ground, right? But we'll see what happens. So health increased from 600 to 620. Health regen decreased from 2.8 to 2. Physical armor increased from 27 to 30. Shadow walk Q. Damage changed from 60, 80, 100, 120, 140 to 50, 70, 100, 125, 150. Scaling increased from 30% to 40%. Duration decreased from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 to 6, 6.5, 7, 7.58. Woo! Fade-in duration decreased from 1.5 to 1. That's cool. Cooldown increased from 87654 to 109,876. Bonus damage now applies to cleave damage. Okay. Crippling dagger, right mouse button. Bonus monster damage increased from 80 to 100. That's good. Bonus damage now applies to minions. Slow duration decreased from 1 second to 0.75 seconds. Death mark, bonus damage decreased from 15% to 10%. Guillotine R, base damage increased from 170, 330, 490 to 200, 375, 40. I'm going to estimate that this makes her kind of bad. I could miss the mark here, but there's a lot of times where you use guillotine to get in close, and then a lot of your damage does come from death mark. Like, you don't always land guillotine on her, and you're really using it to close the gap, or you're using it to get away, and then you kind of come back in and you use your stealth and you dance around. And so dancing around with stealth is going to be way harder, but you're also losing a lot of damage from other sources. And I feel like this is going to make her play style so tight. It's like they said, it's going to tighten some of those like windows. It's going to make it so tight that she just won't be able to move. I think that this is going to make Feng Mao clearly a better option over Kallari for this style of play. But we'll see. That's just my hypothesis. I think hitting the stealth and pushing a lot of the damage into the guillotine is going to make her really, really tough to play. So Chimera has suffered an issue, similar issue to Grux, where his early game is diminished by a small health pool. We're bumping this up at the cost of some late game health, meaning Chimera will need to continue to build tanky in order to become the immortal jackrabbit of his dreams. We also have a small quality of life buff to his ambush so that he doesn't lose his stacks as he majestically leaps towards his prey. Health increased from 560 to 610. Health growth decreased from 115 to 105. Physical armor increased from 31 to 33. Physical power growth decreased from 3.6 to 3.2. Ambush right mouse button scaling decreased from 80% to 75%. Quality of life ambush now extends spirit regeneration duration by 1 second. Activated if spirit regeneration will expire within the next 1 second. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I don't know. This feels like it feels like a neutral, like a lateral change. We'll see. Kira is mostly getting some standard durability buffs and small buff to Dusk, increasing her finisher. I think I have my B-net open, my bad. Potential in the mid to late game. Base health increase from 590 to 610. Health growth increase from 86 to 98. Physical armor increase from 23 to 26. Physical armor growth decrease from 4.5 to 4. Dusk Q scaling per stack increase from 25 to 30%. Damn, okay. Yeah, I think that's all fine. Like, cool. I think Dusk scaling per stack increase from 25% to 30% might feel like the most damaging, or like punishing, because like she already can like fade away kill you. But we'll see. I think Kira's like mostly been in a fine spot, so at least this also feels fine. Belica's a little too durable at level 1 relative to most heroes, so we're also giving her a small nerf. Don't forget, all heroes are getting a magic armor increase in some way that will more than offset these changes, specifically against mages and tanks in the mid to late game. Going back to Belica, however, this comes a small quality of life change, or quality of life to buff her Void Bomb, allowing her to feel a little safer utilizing them without Seismic Assault. So health decreased from 620 to 600, physical power growth increased from 2.6 to 3.2, Void Bomb scaling decreased from 6580 to 6075 percent, explosion delay decreased from 0.8 seconds to 0.7 seconds. Okay, I don't have any problems with that. Well, it's like another one of those, like, I just have to see it, I guess. Morgish emerged from the forest pretty cleanly, well, aside from all the grubs and bugs, with only minor issues to her wave clear and trading, giving her mark a little more oomph in the early game so that minion aggression doesn't feel quite as punishing, as well as increasing her passive damage to said minions. Base mana regeneration decreased from 1.4 to 1.2. Pestilence passive minions and monster maximum damage increased from 8 to 12. Mark, right mouse button. Base damage changed from 70, 105, 140, 175, 210, 80, 110, 140, 170, 200, and then scaling increase. So yeah, just shifting her damage a little bit. This doesn't really feel, again, more kind of like lateral changes to me. Murdoch, it's time we finally cracking down to use illegal stims at Ometa, and Murdoch is a prime offender. So this patch, we're completely changing up his stim pack. With the health gains removed, we can shift more health back into his base durability, meaning he doesn't have to live and die by field injections. This, however, comes with some large adjustments to his movement speed. We expect Murdoch to use this tool more carefully to reposition, escape, or chase targets instead of negating burst damage and winning out extended trades with healing. This ability will most likely need further tuning, but we envision this option to be a much more spammable late game and to lead to some big plays. So health decreased from 590 to 580, health growth increased from 88 to 102, physical armor decreased from 26 to 24, physical armor growth increased from 3.4 to 4.2, buckshot right mouse button, base damage decreased from 75, 110, 145, 180, 215 to 70, 100, 130, 160, 190, stim pack E, bonus health removed, auto activate removed, movement speed duration decreased from 5 seconds to 2.5 seconds. Movement speed magnitude increase from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8% to 30%. Holy shit! 30% increased movement speed for 2.5 seconds. Mana cost changed from 80 to 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Cooldown decreased from 20, 18, 16, 14, 12 to 24, 20, 16, 12, 8. Wow, this is such a huge change. Okay, he's going to get a 30% movement speed for 2.5 seconds. I feel like that's going to be so overpowered. It's going to be crazy. I mean, even at the highest cooldown, like there's going to be kills that he probably just walks away from, or deaths that he just walks away from, and kills that he just gets for free. Oh my god. So far, I'm going to anticipate that this literally makes him the best carry. We'll see. Holy hell, dude. Muriel is innately powerful against mages, as her shields directly counter their cooldowns and damage output. Therefore, she needs to remain somewhat burstable to magic damage to retain that identity. We're shifting some of her health growth into physical armor to allow mages similar windows to take her down, while still providing more durability for Muriel versus ADCs and assassins who typically have more accessible penetration. Health growth decreased from 98 to 88. Physical armor increased from 24 to 28. Physical armor growth increased from 4.5 to 5. Okay. Base has generally felt loftier since her recent changes, but her linkability still feels a tad clunky. We're still looking at the targeting, but have fixed a fairly large bug where it was still causing a lot of frustration. We're also taking her early game healing down a notch to decrease her fairly powerful lane presence. So Essence Catalyst passive base healing decreased from 20 plus 8 per level to 16 plus 7 per level. And then bug fix to her right mouse button. Linking an ally no longer prevents the ability to immediately pull them for 1 second. Rampage has been problematic for quite some time due to his fierce damage output. With the new tank crest, durability changes and durability changes. We feel comfortable tackling his consistent DPS by hitting his passive attack speed and rumble ability damage. So base health growth increased from 560 to 610. Health growth decreased, or I said base health. I'm saying the wrong words. Health growth decreased from 110 to 108. Physical armor increased from 28 to 31. Physical armor growth decreased from 4 to 3.6. King of the Jungle passive attack speed decreased from 20% to 37% to 19% to 28%. Rumble E base damage changed from 110, 140, 170, 200, 230 to 100, 130, 160, 190, 220. So yeah, he's just losing a little bit of damage. I still don't think this is going to hurt him too much, but it's going to hurt his, like, he jumps the backline and insta-kills somebody, because he's not going to be able to, like, you know, attack speed them down a whole lot, but he's still just going to be tanky. So that's still, I think it's still okay. It may feel bad, like his early clear may take, you know, like a little bit of a hit, but it's like it tapers off a lot more, it seems, because like 20% to 19%. Yeah, we'll see. I don't think it's going to be too bad, but this could push him down quite a bit to, like, I don't know, we'll see what happens to Richter in terms of like the tank jungle role, right? Small durability increase from Revenant, no particular theme for no particular reason. So yeah, he's getting his base health increased 610 to 644, health growth increased from 86 to 94, physical armor growth increased from 3.6 to 4.4. Richter's also getting a minor nerf to his damage, but also getting a large buff to his durability, and his base stats do otherwise look a little sad. This should help him feel more confident engaging with ranged heroes in both dual lane and off lane. Health increased from 540 to 610. Physical armor growth increased from 3.5 to 5.3. Wait, what's the nerf to his damage then? I feel like there was something else I read earlier that didn't feel like it was paid off in the notes, so I might have to refresh this before the end of the video and come back to Richter, because I'm confused. Let me look. Was there a Muriel change in here? No, because yeah, that's interesting. Okay. Well, hopefully I didn't miss too much else in here. Shock Therapy Q, base damage decreased from 60, 100, 140, 180, 220 to 60, 95, 130, 165, 200. So he's losing a little bit of damage on his Q, but I don't think that matters, really. I don't really think that matters much. Like I said, hopefully I didn't miss too much else. I don't know. I did refresh the page just now. So Sevarog's another hero getting some hefty changes this patch as we point him back towards the jungle role. Interesting. With changes to his passive ability, his offlane and jungle stack acquisition should be much better aligned. For good measure, we're also granting a few more stacks in general to increase the reliance on tiers over individual stacks and leveling to make hitting those shoulder pads even better. Health growth decreased from 102 to 92. Physical armor growth increased from 4 to 4.5. Reaper of Souls passive now gains stacks based on the target's CS values, capped at 5. Stacks on hero kill increased from 3 to 5. Stacks per tier increased from 30, 60, 90, 120 to 40, 80, 120, 160. Health per tier increased from 40, 70, 100, 130 to 50, 100, 150, 200. Siphon bonus damage per tier decreased from 10 to 8. Okay, so yeah, that'll help him in jungle some. I still just think he's such a phenomenal laner. I don't know that he'll get played there much, and this will probably be much more of like a solo queue thing. You can pick him much more comfortably. Competitive thing, you can counter pick it and then or flex pick it for jungle and for offlane, assuming it actually does land as a decent jungler. So we'll see. Should we Wolfpack is a bit on of a diet due to some overindulging in the previous burst meta. Scaling per wolf decreased from 18% to 16%. Really? I don't feel like she needed that, but I guess. Sparrow's on the radar as a hero who's fallen behind other ADC options. She'll be getting significant buffs through the itemization changes outlined later in the patch, and we'll monitor to see how she turns out. Want to avoid giving her large amounts of mobility, but may consider upping her utility in a future patch if we feel she needs it after these item changes. So physical armor growth increased from 4.1 to 4.8. Steel. Dude, we're like halfway through these patch notes. This is actually crazy. Steel is getting a similar treatment to Richter to help him tackle those pesky ranged opponents. We're also decreasing his damage in offlane trades just a smidge due to his larger durability buff. Health increased from 550 to 620. Physical armor increased from 30 to 34. Physical armor growth increased from 4 to 4.8. Shield bounce right mouse button. Enemy target max HP damage decreased from 5% to 4%. Yeah, I mean, the theme is like lower TTK, so I don't think that Steel's like offlane is very good, but that's fine, I suppose. The Faye is dominating, why did I say that? Faye is getting a dainty nerf to her burst combo damage output, but also gaining a bit more utility with her Bramble Slow to help her escape sticky situations or land extra Harvest Nettle in those extended trades. Base health increased from 590 to 610, physical armor growth increased from 4.5 to 5, Bramble Patch Q, slow magnitude increased from 30% to 40%, Flytrap R scaling decreased from 60% to 50%. So yeah, less burst, more slow and poke. Yeah, we'll see how that lands for her. All right, items. Let's get into the Crest Ortis. We're finally fixing a major bug with Ortis that was costing players a lot of their precious stacks. Alongside this, we're also increasing the duration for more leniency on stack gathering. So limit break active duration increased from 6 seconds to 8 seconds. The bug fix were issue where CC would cancel the effect. Razorback. The reflect nature of Razorback is dangerous line that has proved to be a bit too effective alongside the armor increase. We're giving it a fairly substantial decrease to keep it more focused on durability. So the reflect damage is coming down to from 20% to 15%. So yeah, Razorback is like basically not about reflecting anymore. It's more about just turning it on and doing a little bit of damage to them back, but upping your durability by increasing your armor. So yeah, tier 2 items, Alchemical Rod. We're moving Azure Course passive to the completed passive of Alchemical Rod. This will make the tier 2 more valuable, but provide less haste in return for that power. So front passive, maximum stack, 10 ability haste removed, and font now grants magic power equal to 3.5% maximum. So, okay, so yeah, you're not going to get the haste off the item, but you will get the full mana to magic power when fully stacked, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Barbed Pauldron is a little weak on the tier 2 spike that it thanks to its stacking nature. So we're upping its potency and allowing stronger curve into Frostguard. Attack speed slow per stack increased from 3% to 4%. Stacks increased from 5 to 6. This could be something that is valuable. There's just so many good tank items. It's hard to imagine right now. Scalding Scepter, percentage base penetration items are getting overhauled back to unique passive. So we're also taking the opportunity to clean up their efficiencies. I thought I was going to say efficacies. Cost decreased from 1450 to 1300%. Magic penetration decreased from 20% to 18%. I'm assuming this is all just part of the TTK changes too, is they're like just nerfing some of this down, but also changing the cost there. So Zealous Tomahawk, nothing exciting to say for this one. Changes here follow the same logic as above. Physical power increase from 15 to 20%. Physical penetration increase from 15% to 18%. Okay. Assassin Deathstalker has a lot of anti-synergy with its own penetration, especially in high penetration builds, so we're bumping up its damage a tad, but switching its profile to now benefit from this penetration. Overall, though, the item should see a small damage decrease in most scenarios. Virulence passive, bonus damage increase from 20% to 25%. Bonus true damage change to bonus physical damage. I don't ever build Deathstalker, so I really can't even think about whether or not this is a good change. It's just one of those items that I never build. Demon Edge rework. Demon Edge has been in an odd place, cresting awkward situations with powerful sustain. We're shifting it into a new anti-shield item for assassins to utilize when taking out compositions that stack up multiple shield effects. 3000 cost, 50 physical power, 12 physical penetration, built from Great Sword plus Honed Chris. Demonic passive, damaging a shielded target deals 30% of the remaining shield as bonus physical damage and grants you 20% movement speed. That's a really particular item, so counter build item, cool. Dread is a little too efficient stat-wise, and its takedown healing can swing fights a bit too easily, so it's getting a small nerf. Physical penetration decreased from 10 to 8, and then the Voracity passive hero takedown healing decreased from 25 to 20%. I think that's fair. Malady is getting yet another small nerf, this time to its ability haste. Overall, it's a lot of haste is getting trimmed out of the item system to keep cooldowns a little higher in the mid to late game. Ability haste decreased from 15 to 10. That's not terrible. Mesmer. Sometimes assassins want to access the spell shield mechanic even against physical damage dealers, so we're shifting the defense profile to health to make this item more accessible. So added 275 health, 25 magic armor removed. Build path changed from Hone Chris Nullifying Mass Saber to Hone Chris Banded Emerald Saber. So it's a health item that has like damage and pen on it. Feels weird. But also like could be used by bruisers. I don't know. That's weird to me, but we'll see. Minor Razor fixed an issue where the HUD notification for potent font displayed as critical font. Omen's getting damage shifted into utility, allowing it to output less burst, but provide more options to an assassin using this effect. So Bestial Torment passive, physical power scaling decrease from 40% to 20%, cooldown reduction on hit increase from 1.5 to 2%, or 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds. Okay, so yeah, less physical power damage and more on cooldown reduction, which could be cool. Painweaver, like Malady, we're revisiting item haste, and Painweaver is a prime candidate for this, so 15 to 10 haste. Perforator, reworked. Perforator is becoming a new percentage-based penetration option for assassins to make use of. This does, however, come at the cost of some haste as the theme of this patch. So 330 cost, 55 physical power, 15 ability haste, build from Zealous Tomahawk, Saber, Temporal Ripper, unique puncture passive, gain 30% physical pen, and then unique chilling spells passive, damage abilities slow affected units by 25%, 10% for dot abilities for 1 second. That sounds like a really good item. Could be like third, fourth build on assassin build, maybe. Carry, Breach reworked. Breach has been reworked again into critical strike focused wave clearing item that has powerful synergy with abilities such as Sparrow's ultimate. This is another attack speed heavy option for ADCs to make use in critical strike builds. 2,800 gold cost, 30 physical power, 35 attack speed, 25% critical strike chance. Builds from Barbaric Cleaver, Robust Arbalist. Critical Cleave passive. Basic attacks deal an additional 30% total physical power, physical damage, in small area around the target. This damage can critically strike. Damage ranges from 100% to 50% based on distance between targets. It's not that it's a pretty cheap item, and it's not the highest power, but it's got like really good speed and like really good crit. So this feels like a Sparrow item. Like, it just feels like a, hey, let's just, you know, pump this on Sparrow and let her clear through everything. This could be really good on anybody just because it's cheap, but it's like a wave clearing item. I don't know. This is either going to be really good or really bad, and I'm not good at anticipating carry items, to be honest. Demolisher rework. Demolisher is turning into a reliable penetration option for many crit-based builds. This rework should mean that the effect is now much more general and enhances almost any hero that would buy crit boost to specifically face off against tanks. We're moving to a unique passive system for physical penetration, though, in order to make these items possible. 3,000 gold cost, 35 physical power, 25% critical strike chance. Added unique puncture passive, gain 30% physical power. So unique puncture passive, is this the same passive? Yeah, okay, so you can't stack the items. Okay, so there's like a carry version and like an assassin version on Perforator. So 30% physical pen. Added Deicide, deals 0% to 25% based on maximum health difference, bonus physical damage against enemy heroes with greater maximum health than you. Bonus physical, you just do bonus physical damage? Huh, this item sounds broken to me. Deals 0% to 25% bonus based on maximum health difference. Bonus physical damage against enemy heroes with greater maximum health than you. Yeah, I mean, that sounds kind of crazy for an item that's going to give you a ton of pen and give you 25% crit. This feels like third, fourth buy carry item that's probably going to be giga meta, because why wouldn't you just want bonus physical damage? Because this isn't even like bonus physical power, it's just bonus physical damage on top of gaining a ton of pen. This item sounds insanely broken to me. We'll see. Lightning Hawk has an item that allows crit or on-hit carries to come online sooner. We're giving it a small boost to allow ADCs to have a slightly better first item spike if they choose to opt into this path. Cost decrease from 3,300 to 3,200. Attack speed increase from 20 to 25. Stormbreaker. We're increasing Stormbreaker's potential as an item that helps define on-hit builds and bridge them into more itemization. This will give on-hit users access to items like Demolisher, Lightning Hawk, Dust Devil, and even increase the potency of Tainted rounds. Cost increase from 2,800 to 3,200. Physical power decrease from 30 to 25. Attack speed increase from 40 or decrease from 40 to 35. Build path changed from Ironwood Warbow Rune Bow to Ironwood Warbow Composite Bow. Zap passive, base damage decreased 60 to 40. Scaling decreased 50 to 40. Added Thunderstruck passive. Basic attacks deal 30 bonus physical damage on hit. Additionally, convert every 1% crit strike chance into 1.5 additional bonus physical damage on hit. So they like nerfed the hell out of the item, not really, but like they nerfed it like across the board, raised the cost by 400, and then they added a passive to it. So you're basically getting like a weaker item that has like this new passive. Basic attacks deal 30 bonus physical damage on hit. Additionally, convert every 1% crit strike chance into 1.5 additional bonus physical damage on hit. I can't anticipate this item. It sounds like it could be really, really strong, just because you can convert a bunch of crit, and I don't remember. I don't think Stormbreaker has crit on it. I don't remember if it does or not. So is that playing into itself? I need to look. Gosh, this patch is so comprehensive. I've been going for like 35 minutes already. Let me look at Stormbreaker. I don't know what website to use for items. I haven't looked in a long time. Stormbreaker. I never remember which one this is because I don't build carry items. Oh no. No, it doesn't have crit on it. Okay. But it's going to be, that's an interesting, I don't know anything about this. Augmentation, the small health increase for augmentation. This damage is finally in a more reasonable space. Health increase from 250 to 300. Cool. Bone Saw can be a really hard item for most heroes to build up and keep stacked, unless of course your name is Grux. So we're making those stacks fall off in a way that other heroes can maintain more easily. It will still be more potent on Grux though, due to his ability to quickly stack the item. So Flurry passive attack speed increase from 6% to 10%. Stacks decrease from 6 to 3. Stack changes from falling off one at a time to falling off altogether. Okay, interesting. That could be really nice. That attack speed increase is going to be huge for someone like Grux. Draconum's attack speed led to lots of strange power true through scenarios. Rough. I don't know if that trough. Is that a word? I don't know, man. Scenarios that allowed heroes to snowball through fights by chain kills too easily. We're going instead to hone in on the takedown healing element of Draconum's passive to better synergize with other Brooder itemization and help make it more consistent. Physical power increase from 30 to 40%, or 35 to 40, I mean. A flow passive, missing health restored. Scaling changed from 12% missing health to 100% bonus physical power. Attack speed removed. Okay. I don't know if I hate that. I mean, yeah. The heal was nice though, so we'll see. Legacy is also losing its secondary passive as it tends to bloat the power budget. This allows us to build better synergies between this item and other fighter options. Physical power increased from 40 to 45. Resolute passive removed. CC immunity threshold increased from 30% to 40%. See, I hate that they don't put the items on here because I don't just remember all these passives. You know what I mean? I think it was the. I'm looking at ometa.gg, which is like an older website. I don't even know if they update their database of items, to be honest. So gain 1 physical power for every 3% missing health for maximum of 20 physical power. So it's like it was just extra physical power, so they removed that. And then CC immunity threshold increased from 30% to 40%. Okay. Okay. Yeah, gosh, I really want them to change the way they do patch notes. It's so frustrating to me. Mutilator is being shifted away from a haste-heavy option for bruisers like Crunch and instead becoming a more sustained focus item as originally intended. Ability haste decreased from 25 to 15. Yikes, yeah, that sucks for Crunch. Omnivamp increased from 5% to 8%. I don't know if that's going to land. Like, that might be good for Chimera over, say, Sky Splitter, but the reason we build Sky Splitter on Kai like sometimes is because of like it's never like nobody's really building Mutilator for the sustain, so this item might just suck. Overlord is hard for most heroes to utilize due to its on-hit nature, so instead we're allowing it to grant physical power so more bruisers can use it out of its effects. This also removes Chimera abuse cases, allowing us to buff the base stats on the item. Health increase from 350 to 450, bludgeon passive removed, bludgeon or passive reworked, bludgeon passive gain 2.5% bonus health, physical power. Okay. I like that on Chimera though, the way that it is. And now it's still good. It's just different. Tainted Blade no longer needs a cooldown with the bloated damage being removed. So Hex passive additional flat physical damage on hit removed, cooldown removed. I never build Tainted Blade anyways, so I don't know. Astral Catalyst. Astral gains far too much hidden value from its second passive, so we're shifting some of it into base stats, but overall decreasing the item's damage potential. Magic power increased from 60 to 75. Spellslinger passive removed. Damn it, dude. I hate the way they do patch notes. Using an ability grants you 3% increased magic power for 3 seconds. Okay, so they're just like pulling power out of it. Same as Alchemical Rod, we're shifting away from some haste here and moving the secondary passive into the font passive. So magic power increased from 50 to 60. Arcane magic passive removed. What is this? Azure Core. Oh, it's because it got moved into the tier 2 side, right? Oh, they're just moving it over. Okay, maximum stacks, 10 ability haste removed, and then it's got it here in this passive now. Okay, a Dreambinder is allowed a bit more base durability at the cost of its Thaw passive that wasn't being utilized as intended, ended up being bloated damage. Health increase from 250 to 350, Thaw passive removed. And the Thaw passive was abilities deal 10% additional damage to slowed enemy heroes. Okay, so just pulling damage out of it. Golem's Gift is getting the haste treatment too. It's also getting a slight cost increase as it's very efficient stat-wise currently. So cost increase from 2800 to 2900. Ability haste decrease from 20 to 10. Stone Skin passive casting abilities will now refresh 1 stack per cast up to a maximum of 5 stacks. Oh, that's cool. That's pretty cool. I mean, I like this item, but it doesn't get built all the time, but it's a good armor option whenever you need it. Lifebinder is never really gets strong use out of its Magi passive. So this ability is going alongside its base haste ability. This allows us to grant more strength to its other stats and make it more sustained base item for mages. So cost increase from 3100 to 3200, magic power increase from 60 to 70, health increase from 200 to 275, magic lifesteal increase from 10% to 15%, ability haste removed, Magi passive removed, which again, I don't know what the passive was. I'm going to be honest, because I think I'm looking at an old database of items. Build path change from Blood Tome Violet Brooch Scepter to Blood Tome Banded Emerald Scepter. Magnify is honing in on its attack speed. Oh, who cares? Nobody builds this. Fantasy for on hit mages to utilize, sporting a better build path, extra attack speed and less haste. It becomes much more appealing for Prophecy Typhoon builds. This is coming to cost a little passive strength though. Attack speed increased 30 to 50. Ability haste removed. Build path change from Chaotic Core Rune Bow and Potent Staff Rune Bow. Plus Rune Bow. Shredding passive, strikes passive shred decrease from 6% per stack to 5% per stack. Magnify strikes passive magic power per stack decrease from 8 to 6. Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. Living Crown is losing its larger damage amp and having its power shifted strictly into current health damage. This should help decrease overloading bursts with other damage sources. So current health damage increased from 8% to 10%. Bonus magic damage removed. Bonus magic damage, like completely removed, like the power spike of an item. It's completely removed on Oblivion passive. Your next instance of ability damage against enemy hero will deal an additional 8% of their current health as magic damage increase their magic damage taken. So bonus magic damage removed. Okay. Yeah, so the extra damage you did to them when having that's removed. Okay, they're not getting rid of the Annihilate passive though, I guess. Okay. I just got to get this off my chest. I don't even know if anybody's going to watch this far in because it's 43 minutes and I'm still not done. I need them to put the items on these. It is so hard to follow if you expect us to be a literal encyclopedia of every items or like a wiki of every item. Put the old item over here, put the new item over here. Like so I can please dude, it's so hard to follow. I don't remember all these passives. It's hard. It's really hard, and I guess that's on me. And like maybe it should just be on me. But I would love that. It'd be really nice. Prophecy is getting some power shift into its magic power, then shifting its passive to incentivize building more attack speed over more haste. Magic power increased from 60 to 70. Ability haste decreased from 20 to 10. Haste reworked or hasty reworked. Gain plus 30% bonus attack speed. Ability haste. Cool. That sounds cool. I don't think these items matter that much. Spellbreaker is getting a small magic armor boost to help its efficiency a tad. Magic armor increase from 35 to 40. Tainted Scepter is about bursting targets whilst they're anti-healed, so we're shifting it to a magic penetration option instead of a haste option. Added 10 magic pen, ability haste removed, build path change from Spiked Birch Violet Brooch Scepter to Spiked Birch Diffusal Cane Vitality Beads. Malice passive damage reworked from true damage to magic damage. World Breaker is finally getting its passive shifted to bonus health over maximum health. This should stop it being as potent of an early game spike, but will boost its potential on heroes like Severog. Magic power increase from 45 to 55, and then scaling change from 2% maximum health to 4% bonus health. That's gonna hurt it on some like mages probably. I mean, it's still decent, especially because it's getting some more magic power. But you know, it's gonna be from your bonus health, so you can't just like scale into getting stronger with that. So we'll see if that becomes a less viable option for certain characters. All right, tank items. Crystalline Cuirass. Crystalline is replacing Void Helm as our new large defensive option versus magic damage. This item should be a go-to for tanks that look to counter damage over time effects or sustain magic damage. Cost decrease from 3,100 to 3,000. Health increase from 275 to 350. Magic armor decrease from 70 to 60. Volatile passive removed. When you take ability damage, release a pulse of damage back. Okay, so it's removing that. Build path changed from Nullifying Mask, Violet Brooch, Nullifying Mask, to Nullifying Mask, Banded Emerald, Nullifying Mask. Added 2 new passives. Celestial Carapace, I don't know how to say that word. Receiving magic damage grants a stack of Celestite for 5 seconds, stacking up to 6 times. Stacks can only be gained once every second. Celestite. You gain 5 magic armor per stack of Celestite. A maximum stacks gain 15% additional movement speed. Okay, so this is like, instead of being an item that pulls out damage, it's like healthier, a slightly less armor, and then you stack up more armor and you gain a movement speed. So this is going to be a really good item. Dynamo is being moved to a support item classification, and it's gaining a new passive that'll serve more general cases while providing less durability for its cost. We work to support item classification. Cost decrease 2,800 to 2,600. Damn. Health decrease from 300 to 200. Physical armor decrease from 55 to 35. 10 added 10 ability haste. Build path change from Banded Emerald, Steel Mail, Spirit Beads to Violet Brooch, Steel Mail, Spirit Beads. Immobilizer passive removed. So reworked. Immobilizing an enemy causes them to take 10% increased damage for 4 seconds. So support item, no longer a tank item. Flux Matrix is getting some small balance shifts to allow it to be more accessible for support roles. Cost decrease 2,900 to 2,700. Health decrease from 350 to 300. Magic armor increase from 35 to 40. So these items are like, they're like support tank items now, kind of, that like will allow for non-tanks to pick them up, since there are just other bigger tank items. Frostguard is getting a pretty cool update with some more durability, a more reliable attack speed slow, and removing the movement speed slow. This will keep the item more specialized and potent against attack speed oriented heroes. Physical armor increase from 60 to 70, ability haste decrease from 15 to 10, chilling presence passive, radius increase from 400 to 700, movement speed slow removed. Stifle is attack speed slow per stack increase from 30% to 4%, stacks increase from 5 to 6. This could be pretty good. This actually could be pretty good. With the radius being increased and with it being more of an armor item, could be good. I need to keep my eyes on Frostguard. Frostguard has my attention. Raiment of Renewal. The changes here are about delivering a little less healing to decrease some of the more invisible healing tanks have been acquiring. Health regeneration decreased from 120. I feel like Raiment just keeps getting nerfed. I don't know that this item is going to be viable. But I say that all the time, and Raiment's one of those really weird items to me where it's like, I don't know how to judge the viability of it, because I can't stack this item up against its armor counterparts. Because it's hard to, for me, it's hard to evaluate the value of armor and like mitigation versus like healing. But this item just keeps getting nerfed, and there's like other items, so I feel like Raiment might just be falling out. But we'll see. Stonewall is getting some of its passive strength shifted into the general health pool to make the item more accessible. Health increase from 150 to 250. Bulwark passive bonus physical armor scaling decrease from 7.5% to 5%. Tainted Guard is losing some of its haste in favor of some more durability and a little buff to its scaling, since the big bug that was hampering it was fixed in a previous patch. Physical armor increased from 40 to 50. Ability haste decreased from 15 to 10. Blighted Thorn's passive scaling increased from 21% to 30%. Cool. I think that's all fine. They're pulling out ability haste in most cases. Void Helm reworked. Void Helm is being reworked into a sustain focused option for sustain and CC oriented tanks. Cost decreased from 3,100 to 2,900. Health decreased from 500 to 450. Magic armor increased from 30 to 40. Ability haste decreased from 15 to 10. Justicar passive removed. Damn it. This is so frustrating. Every 40 magic damage received. Okay, it was the main passive. Okay. Added 2 new passives. Anima passive, gain 10% increased healing. Interesting. Immobilizing an enemy hero restores 3% of your maximum health over 4 seconds. Interesting. Gain 10% increased healing. Immobilizing an enemy hero restores 3% of your maximum health over. Dude, this is like a crunch item. I need to think about this. This is going to be good for... This is interesting. It's a cheap, strong item that increases your healing by 10% and restores 3%. Like, I could use this on Chimera. I can use this on Crunch. I can use this on Rampage. You can use this on Severog. Interesting. Very interesting item. Morgash's doll now correctly respects hero outlines. Controller triggers now correctly cycle additional bugs. All right, man. That was a crazy patch. There's so much that I just need to feel because it's just changing everything. I hate the way that they do patch notes because I just really want to see the items. But we're also doing this thing where like everything is changing so much that like it feels like we're never like the last patch was supposed to be this huge patch, and now we have this one that's also another huge patch. That it feels like it's hard to settle into a version of the game. So I'm hoping that we get to like some calmer waters for a little bit. And this patch is not really like enough personally for me to be like super excited about it. I think that the changes will be something that we find out and see how they feel. The last patch was supposed to be the same thing for me, where I was like, oh, we'll see what a lot of the global golden experience changes feel like, but it felt fine, and I haven't really been playing too much. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. This was a 51-minute patch notes read, so I stumbled my words a little bit. But friends, there you have it. Drop a like on the video, subscribe for future Predecessor content. As always, be sure to comment on it, tell someone you love them, and I'll see you in the next video.